I just don't get that time to do all that. But when I get down to 40 Sunny's barbecue, I always dip my fries in the sweet sauce. I don't even use ketchup.
Yeah, I mean, sweet sauce is amazing. That's literally whenever I make any kind of barbecue, anything for food, I usually use the Sunny's barbecue sauce. And this is not a promo for them. It's just that's good. It's really, really good. But yeah, unrelated to Jim Cornette, but yeah. So I don't know what they're gonna do with Orange Cassidy. I kind of feel like they booked themselves a little bit of a corner. Hopefully Tony Khan furthers the storytelling like he has been to where it ends up making sense in the end, and it doesn't hurt Orange Cassidy or Brody Lee. And I kind of have a feeling it might end up in a disqualification of some sort, and that's the only way to really protect them. Something related to the Dark Order or something related to the Best Friends.
Yeah, I think so. My guess is that, obviously, I don't think there's anything. I mean, I guess he could feud with the Inner Circle for a while longer, but I don't think there's anything left since Jericho and Jake Hager's going to be doing tag team. So I guess it's more or less what else we can have them do. So it's something different. I guess it's feud with the Dark Order. I would assume that's what their next plans are. The assumption right now.
Did Jericho come up with a name for them yet? Kind of like he did with Sammy?
Not that I'm aware of right now.
I'm really disappointed in that.
Yeah, he just says it's going to be Hager and Jericho going for titles and tag titles. That's all. Huh?
Did you see he printed a new shirt with a new catchphrase like last week?
Last I know, he had a catchphrase, or his name was the Demo God. Is that what you're talking about?
No, he has a new one.
What's that?
Because AEW pulled in 1 million viewers when NXT was airing on Tuesday. I hope they keep growing that, honestly. He now has a new shirt called the Million Viewer Man.
Million Viewer Man. Only Jericho.
I don't know what is up with Jericho, because Jericho, it's weird because it seems like he strikes gold a lot. Yeah. I remember the man of 1,004 holds, and 70% of those were arm bars. I remember the whole where he interviewed Dean Malenko, a painting of Dean Malenko. Then he comes into WWE, has a verbal drawing with The Rock. Then the whole Stephanie McMahon thing, you dirty, stinking trash bag hoe.
Yeah.
You made the list. I'm the best in the world at what I do. The Gerotron. I mean, he has so many things that he just comes up with and ends up working.
Well, yeah, he has a creative mind, and that's just been Jericho. I mean, he can come up with the darndest things. It ain't even funny. I mean, it is always funny, but I mean, he just has that creative mind, always reinvent himself.
Yeah, and that's honestly the best thing he can do. It's not like he's a one-trick pony. He's changed his character 1 million times over, and a lot of times, especially from guys that were in his era, they kind of stay the same character. Now, granted, I know this predates Jericho, but Triple H hasn't really changed that much at all.
No.
Shawn Michaels hasn't changed that much since he became HBK. Besides the Born Again with the cross thing, that's the only thing he changed.
Pretty much, he's certain little things about some things he's worn over the years, little things that he's changed, but nothing like drastic, like you're saying.
Not like Jericho, where Jericho literally came in as basically Y2J when he came back against Randy Orton, which actually in one of the prior recordings, that's where I got the Childberry hit remark that came from Jericho when he did the promo against Randy.
Yeah.
Then he became short hair Trunks Jericho, where he's going to talk in a very slow, cold speak. He became the Jericho that didn't speak for like 3 weeks, didn't cut promos at all.
Yeah.
Then he had the light up jacket, then became the list of Jericho, and now he's this Jericho, which I don't even know what to call it.
I don't know either, but it's he evolves that really good. One thing that I thought that they were going to do the first, little bit of when the Dynamite first came on the air, I thought someone was going to say something about his constant post on, at least on Instagram, where he always said, "You're welcome." I always thought somebody in the company would have said something to him about it, on camera,
Oh, no, they love it because it's drawing attention.
Oh, no. Not like behind the scenes trouble. It's talking about doing promo about it. That's what I'm saying. It's good attention. I'm just saying, we did this. You're welcome. It's all about me. That's why I figured someone would cut a promo on them or something. That when they first aired Dynamite. You know what I mean? Or you kind of lost.
I don't believe it will ever happen, but if he ever enters a feud with MJF, it will probably happen there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I just was surprised that no one said nothing. No one cut a promo on him. When they said it ain't all about you, but even though his name was drawing the attention, that's what I was getting at.
The only person that would kind of apply besides MJF would be Moxley, because MJF would use it as like, oh no, it's about me, but Moxley would be just like, shove it up your ass. It's not about you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. But Moxley's. He got the win.
Yeah, he did. He did. Win. And so there is a pay-per-view at the end of the month right now for WWE. I can't remember the name of it. Do you remember the name of it? It's Clash of Champions, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
Clash of Champions.
You're talking about we went to AEW. I'm like, AEW don't have it.
No, I don't think they'll have another pay-per-view until January.
Yeah, sorry, we're talking about AEW's their pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's why I try to say WWE. So
that's all right.
Kind of in the same vein of AEW's last pay-per-view, would you want to do picks where we kind of do a comparison of picks and for bragging rights currently?
I'm sorry. Say it again. Sorry.
So we do a recording here where you and I discuss picks and we make picks. Would you be able to work that? All right. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll kind of have a Super Bowl. You know what? Actually, let's do it for WWE. And the Super Bowl of it would be our final picks for WrestleMania. It'll end at WrestleMania.
Okay.
The one that we can kind of do what I think for February, because that's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
For January.
Royal Rumble,
January. Yeah, you're right. February's TLC usually. In January with Royal Rumble, we can pick like 5 people that we choose to win the Royal Rumble because. And we might even do a couple of surprise picks kind of thing. Like, I think this person is going to be the shock person at this Royal Rumble. Because you got to be kind of lenient on that, given what happens at Royal Rumbles. 30 people. Yeah. You're very unlikely to pick the one that's going to win.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And when we record closer to Clash of Champions, when we have the full card, we'll do picks.
Okay, sounds good.
And the next episode is going to be us reviewing the 1990 Great American Bash.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be the next one. Ric Flair versus Sting for the world title.
It's one of their 20 matches that they had against each other.
Yeah. And
I actually probably undercut it. Sting was the ultimate sucker in early WCW. Like every time he got tricked into being friends with Flair, and then Flair would screw him over in the end.
He just had a few people, but Sting was probably one of the top guys that kept on getting screwed over.
And I get it. Sting was their guy. Sting was their Hulk Hogan, essentially. But that's poor booking. That's poor booking. Hey, Sting, this week you're gonna get tricked by this guy.
I guess their guy, gotta pull something on the face.
And there is one thing though that Sting has over Ric Flair that Ric Flair never had. RoboCop in his corner. That and a vulture, a pet vulture, were up in the rafters.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean,
that was
Sting could say, "I had RoboCop in my corner." Ric Flair didn't have that. Hulk Hogan didn't have that. Hulk Hogan had Brutus the Barber Beefcake following him around everywhere.
When did he have the RoboCop?
It was a pay-per-view, but it was basically Sting got. It was, I think, a War Games because Sting got locked in the cage and RoboCop came out and pulled it off for him.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what year.
I think it was War Games. I'm pretty sure it was War Games.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Hell, didn't Triple H portray the RoboCop WrestleMania?
Terminator.
Terminator. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I randomly decided to put on that pay-per-view, and I remember because I wanted to watch Triple H versus Sting because, again, it goes into this, why did NWO help Sting and who was on the DX side, because I couldn't remember. For some reason, I thought Shawn Michaels was there, but it wasn't. So here's a lineup that I had that makes even less sense. So I'm like, okay, so the NWO had Scott Hall, Nash, and X-Pac, and I'm like, did DX have Shawn Michaels and the New Age Outlaws? I'm like, but I don't think Shawn Michaels was there. So I ended up watching it. It was Hogan, Nash, and Hall versus X-Pac and the New Age Outlaws.
You sure Shawn wasn't? Shawn was there.
No, he wasn't there for this.
I
think that was during his tenure when he was kind of being away from WWE when that took place.
had this one.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't part of it. And this is another thing that's annoying about WWE when it comes to WCW guys. They booked it. They booked that match essentially WWE versus WCW. That's not what this should have been about. It should have been about Sting standing up to the Authority. But because Sting was in WCW, they're like, oh, okay. So since you're going to face our DX guy, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring out DX, and then we're going to bring out the NWO. Well, I fought against the NWO. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, well, you guys are in WCW guy. Yeah, but that still doesn't make sense. Like,
I agree with a lot of things they put.
And if anything, Triple H would have had NWO on his side. If they really wanted to amp this up as WWE versus WCW, sure, bring out DX. That's fine. Bring them out. But instead of Nash, Hall, and Hogan, who basically Sting fought against to keep WCW alive, it should have been someone. These are people that worked with WWE in the past, and I even think partially during this WrestleMania. The Big Show, Booker T, Diamond Dallas Page. Those were WCW guys that were on the same side as Sting.
Well, I think the main reason why they brung out the NWO, which I understand that part of your logic is the feuding, but it was more or less when you had the two big factions that were the most popular in the 90s, as far as, you know.
Oh, I know that's why they did it. They did it for marketing purposes so they can sell T-shirts.
Well, you look at, you know, the big picture. Those are two factions that were like the biggest in the 90s, other than being obviously Four Horsemen was big too in their own way. But you know, that's what the two big factions that represented those two big companies back in their day, as that's why they had those NWO and DX instead of having random WCW guys that, you know, obviously didn't eventually work with WWE or F. And that's why, you know, it's more or less seen that. But your point's not bad, just more or less in the big picture.
No, I completely understand why they did what they did. In terms of what the booking was in WCW, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me Hulk Hogan now likes Sting because he's facing Triple H and he has to represent WCW when Hogan was trying to kill WCW?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I said I get what you're saying. It's just how they both did, and, you know, it's being the two big factions. So I guess it's hey, they're buddies in the background, right? right. It again, go back to it didn't make sense. Oh, gotcha. All right.
So yeah, went off on a little tangent there. We're gonna wrap up this episode. Like I said, the next one's gonna be a review of 1990s Great American Bash.
Yeah.
We're going to do it like we did the last throwback or tossback or whatever you want to call it, flashback. We're going to be grading the matches out of 10 and see what we come up with and see what led Sting to be fooled by Ric Flair again this time.
Well, it wasn't full, actually. He won.
No, I have usually